Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Today is going to be a Disney Vacation Club video, and I'm going to be answering the question, why is home resort maybe more important than ever? And I'm really glad that you're here. Before we get started, I want to make sure you guys know that today's video is being sponsored by our friends at DVC by Resale. Chantel and her team are the Disney experts. They can help you buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club timeshare. We've actually used her team twice for two separate transactions. I can promise you that they are honest, they are reputable, they know what they're doing, and they will not steer you wrong. All of their contact information is in the show notes below. You can also sign up for their email newsletter, and she'll send you advanced notification of resale contracts that are getting ready to hit the market. So if you're in the market to buy or sell DVC resale, you definitely want to reach out and contact Chantel and her team. So today we're going to talk about home resort. What is it and why does it matter? So first of all, by way of definition, especially for those of you that are brand new to Disney Vacation Club, home resort is the place where you are purchasing your Disney Vacation Club points. So this is the resort that you call home. It is also the place where you will have the 11-month booking advantage. You will be able to book at all the other Walt Disney World properties at the 7-month booking window, but for your home resort, that is the only place that you can book at 11 months out. Now, over the years, Scott and I have seen this become increasingly more important as availability really seems to be going down at that 7-month mark. A few years ago at the 7-month mark, we could get almost anything on Walt Disney World property. For a variety of reasons, that is no longer the case. In fact, I just went to try to change our reservation for January, and even exactly at the 7-month mark, there was zero availability for our entire week. So that really is something that I think more than ever, you want to make a wise choice when choosing your home resort. There was a time when people would say, just buy, wherever you can get in the cheapest, especially if you're buying on the resale market. I don't think that that wisdom holds true anymore. I think you really want to make sure you're buying at a resort where you really could see you and your family vacationing for the entire length of your contract. So the first thing that you need to decide when you're trying to choose a home resort is, where do I love staying? And maybe more importantly, where do I not want to stay? Because there may be a few resorts, this is very personal opinion, but like my husband does not like Saratoga and he does not like Animal Kingdom Villas. I love both of those resorts, but because he does not, I knew that neither one of those would be a great choice for our home resort. Your family may have a different resort that you just don't care for, or maybe there's that one resort that you want to stay at every year forever and your heart would be broken if you could not stay there. If you have that in your heart, some people feel that way about Beach Club, some people feel that way about Bay Lake Tower. Guess what? That should be your home resort, and nothing else that I say in this video is really going to matter. Take all of the other considerations off the table if you have that one resort that you and your family adore, because guess what? You didn't know it, but you already chose your home resort. Now you just need to purchase points at that home resort. And even if Disney is not selling those points direct any longer, you can still buy those points on the resale market, frequently at a huge discount. So definitely go to DVC by Resale's list just to get an initial idea of how much money you can save by buying on the secondary market. So the second thing you want to consider when choosing your home resort is initial buy-in price and dues. Now, these are both financial considerations. It could be that you have 2 or 3 resorts that you love, and when you look on the resale market, you see that, maybe one is priced quite a bit higher than another. And if you would be just as happy at either one, then sure, absolutely go with the one that's a little bit less expensive. Also, dues. Now, dues can vary greatly from resort to resort, and when you look at the life of your contract, you're going to pay a lot more in dues than you are paying for that initial buy-in. So really think about if there's, a couple, 3 different resorts that you like, and one, the dues are a lot less than another one, then maybe go ahead and choose that resort because it will save you thousands of dollars over the life of your contract. The other thing you really want to consider is expiration date. Now, a lot of the older resorts have an expiration date as early as 2042. Now, for some of us, especially if you're in your late 40s, early 50s, or older, that may be far less important to you. But if you're a younger family, you may want that expiration date to be as far out there as possible so you can get as many years as you can out of your DVC membership. So definitely take a look at the expiration dates. Our initial home resort was Vero Beach. We did sell that contract using Chantel and her team. Thank you, you guys. And ended up buying at Old Key West, but we bought an extended contract that doesn't expire until 2057. We paid more for it, but I liked that we had that later expiration date. And I know it seems ridiculous thinking something, that's 20, 30, 40, 50 years in the future. But this really is a long-term purchase. So you do have to think of it in terms of long-term. Where are we going to be happy? How much are we going to pay in dues? And how much does that expiration date really matter to us? The other thing to consider about your home resort is going to be which size accommodations really fit your family. For instance, maybe for you, having 3 bathrooms in a 2-bedroom villa is like the most important thing. Well, then you're going to want to choose one of the 2 bedrooms that has 3 bathrooms, which is going to be Animal Kingdom, Kidani, or Bay Lake Tower. Or maybe for you, it's an issue of, I really want to be within walking distance of Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Okay, well, then you're going to have to choose Beach Club or Boardwalk. Those are the only 2 that are in walking distance. Or let's say you're in love with a gondola system and you're like, I really want to be able to ride the gondolas. Okay, well, there you go. Riviera is really your only choice that you're going to be on the gondola system. So location is really important. Now, this plays in, some people will actually have 2 home resorts. I know, because they really do like doing a split stay. They like doing half of their vacation near the Magic Kingdom and half of their vacation near Epcot and Hollywood Studios, or maybe half of their vacation near Animal Kingdom. I have had so many friends who have purchased 2 home resorts so that they have that 11-month booking window advantage at 2 different parts or 3 different parts of Walt Disney World property. This can actually be a really good strategy if you have 2 different home resorts that you love. Maybe even as an every other year proposition. Scott and I have really thought about this because we love the Boardwalk. Our home resort is Old Key West, but if we're going to stay just the 2 of us, we really would rather stay at Boardwalk. Old Key West is a whole nother thing because they have massively sized villas that for the 5 of us are just perfect. And their grand villas are such a bargain on points that I do not at all regret that Old Key West is our home resort. But since Scott and I are like, well, if it's just the 2 of us, we'd really rather stay at Boardwalk, we might do a second contract and have our home resort be Boardwalk so that we always have that 11-month advantage at whatever resort we're going to choose for that particular trip. Can you combine those points and use all of them at the 11-month mark? No, you can only book at the 11-month mark using the points purchased from that home resort. So let me explain this in a practical way. If I have 100 points at Old Key West and 100 points at Boardwalk, I can combine them for one reservation, but not until the 7-month mark. Okay, at the 11-month mark, I can only use my Old Key West points if I'm booking Old Key West and my Boardwalk points if I'm booking Boardwalk. So really don't count on that necessarily because you're not always going to be able to have availability at the 7-month mark. But if there are 2 resorts that you love, this is a great way to kind of have the best of both worlds. So does home resort matter? Yes. 100%, a million times over, yes. Don't let anybody tell you any differently. You'll always get somebody online that's like, just buy the cheapest you can and you can just switch your resort at 7 months. Yeah, maybe certain times of the year, but in my experience, which is all I have to draw from, the last several years that has not been the case, and we've had to do a lot of split stays, and it ultimately led to us selling our Vero Beach contract and buying an Old Key West contract so we could be sure we could get exactly the accommodations we wanted for the length of time we wanted at that 11-month mark. I hope this has been helpful. If you're a DVC member, tell me what your home resort is below, or maybe you have several. A lot of you have several home resorts. And if you're considering different resorts, comment that below as well. I love to kind of help people along with their process. Again, thank you to Chantel and her team for sponsoring today's video. Thank you for always being a great resource for our family. And I want to make sure if you like this video, you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.